Do you like card games? Lack the friends or the social situation to play them with other people, so playing them alone is preferable? Do you like making your own deck and developing a playstyle as you play the game more? Do you like doing crazy, non-conventional builds? And lastly, are you bad at math, so you would rather have the game do the math for you? Then try Slade Monster Train. Welcome to Monster Train. Slide Spire joke aside, this game is a pretty amazing deck builder made by Shiny Shoe in May 2020 that feels amazing to play again and again, so I'm here to talk about it, starting with the story. Hell has been frozen over because Heaven attacked and managed to destroy the pyre, the core that kept Hell warm and cozy. So now we have to board the Bone Shaker, a train that has the last piece remaining of the pyre, and ride it all the way to the center of Hell, where we can reignite our home. But the forces of the Gilded Wing have a word to say about it, and our answer is incredible deck violence. To start a run, we get the clan selection screen. This is your starting class. You get to pick two of them, a main clan and a backline. The main clan will provide the champion, and the combination of these clans dictate your starting deck, that you can see by hovering the units on both clans. And also this dictates the kind of cards and units that you will find in the run itself. So you'll be under control of the kind of reward that the run has to offer, and the kind of deck that you'll be able to make. Besides that, you also get 4 stewards that are basic units to start with. Other than the clan selection, you can also choose some mutations if you want to change the game a little bit, but beware that activating them, no matter if good or bad, will not let you progress on Covenants, which is the difficulty ladder of this game, goes up to 25, nor card masteries, which give you a gilded effect on the card if you win a run with them on the deck. So play with the mutations with this in mind. When you start a run, you get an overview of the bosses you will face and also their abilities, so you can plan ahead and not blame RNG that your spell heavy deck got countered by a boss that gets stronger the more spells you use. In this case, this was a literate issue. Once confirmed, you go to the overworld. To start off, you get a champion upgrade path. Out of the 3 possible paths, you will get 2 to choose from. Each of them have upgrade to stats, but also will have a mechanic or buff added to your champion. There's 3 upgrades that you get every run. 1 at the start and 1 after every major boss. And on the second and third choice, you will always get at least the tier 2 upgrade to the path you have already chosen, or another choice to combine them. The other item on the road is an artifact. These are passive items that give their effects at all time and can go from Prairial Ride to Run Defining, both by themselves or when combined. And these are also influenced by the clans you are playing, so there's always the chance to get either normal artifacts that are generally good or enhancements to your current clans. Once you are done picking, click the circle at the bottom and we will get to the battle overview with the enemies you'll be facing, and if you're feeling spicy, they offer the possibility to buff your enemies with some extra stats or modifiers, and you will get recognition for it, bragging rights, an ego boost, and also, perhaps, also as important, extra currency, unit drafts, or even artifacts. Just be aware of what you are capable to deal with, cause these challenges can counter your build if you don't realize, and it's a great treat to the pride when you lose the whole run to a bunch of random mobs that just happen to have thorns, and your backline decided to hit the spike a little too hard and die to it. Now let's talk about the gameplay. Your playing field is your train. You have 4 floors. The bottom floor is where the enemies will enter for the first time, and on the top floor is your pyre. You start with 3 energy, and on turn 1 you'll always draw your champion and are more likely to draw units rather than spells, so you can start placing your units on the first 3 floors, as the top floor is pyre exclusive. Each unit has a size, indicated by the yellow dots on the top of the card, and each floor has a weight capacity of 5 to start with, and a max unit limit of 7, just so you don't get any funny ideas of increasing the weight capacity so much that you can try and fit a whole army in them. After you have finished summoning your units and casting your spells, you end the turn. This immediately starts the turn resolution phase, in which the enemy will make their attacks and then your units will do theirs. If any enemy is left alive after this, they will last in 1 floor and will keep doing so until they reach the pyre, at which point they will trade blows until one of the 2 parties dies. Just take in mind that the pyre dying means game over. As a quality of life to the game, before you end your turn, the game will be calculating the results of the battle phase at any given moment and takes everything into account. So you don't have to look like a lunatic calculating every single step to the fight. Just take a look at the numbers of every unit and you'll know what adjustments need to be made and where. As a general tip, If the enemy doesn't have a red cross on the calculations and your units do, that means bad. Also, if a unit dies, they generally can't be resummoned until the next battle. There are some exceptions to this, so don't go up and sacrifice them like nothing, unless your strategy is based on letting the enemy in which case might as well offer them some milk and cookies. After a few rounds of enemies, you'll have a turn that says a brief respite. This is not the game being nice, this is just an indicator that the boss is about to appear, so you better be ready for when he shows up at the bottom floor, because as an exception to the normal battles, boss battles are do or die, meaning that your units and the boss will trade blows until one side is defeated, and if the boss wins, he will freeze that floor and it will be unusable until you either finish the battle or die trying. Just as a helpful observation, battles are resolved from top to bottom, but enemy troops don't ascend until every battle is finished. So if your second and third floor are getting demolished, but you can kill the boss itself at the first floor within this turn, the battle is won and the spoils are yours. Now that the battle is over, we are on the first ring of hell, and you have two paths to choose from. You can hover over the places you can visit and the actions you can perform before making the choice, so you can adapt to current needs. Just be aware that both always meet at the same battle, so you don't have to worry about better rewards going into harder battles. Some of these places to visit can go from getting some gold, healing the pyre, drafting a unit from a predetermined clan, getting artifacts, and even making modifications to your card depending on the type. There's a tent for spells and another for units. In this game, the way you upgrade your cards is not just evolving them. They have two modification slots, and these modifiers can do basic stuff like extra stats to the units or reducing the cost of plays of cards, and some better effects for more gold. Now let me show you some card effects you'll encounter in this game so we can get more familiar with them. You can always see the effects cards or units both allies and enemies have by hovering over them, and you'll get a pop-up with detailed info about it. For example, Incant. This is an effect that procs their bonus every time a spell is played on the same floor as the unit with Incant, so spellcasting with them present will get them bothered and hot. There's Harvest, which triggers when a unit dies on the floor the Harvester is present on, no matter if it's allied or enemy, and should not be confused with Revenge, which triggers when the unit that has it is damaged. Also note that damage doesn't mean being attacked by an enemy. There's modifiers that you can apply to the units that change the way they attack, like multi-strike, giving them the ability to strike multiple times. Very easy to misunderstand. There's Sweep, that is great if you want your unit to hit every enemy on the floor, and watch as they abandon all hope as they are hitting 5 enemies with 4 thorn each and they die to the 20 damage that they are receiving back. Or even Quick, that allows your units to attack first instead of letting the enemy have the first move. We will talk more about them as they become relevant. Win or lose, the clans you use will get experience based on how well you did, with the main clan receiving more experience than the backline. And when they level up, you can unlock artifacts, cards, and at level 5, the secondary exile champion for that clan, and the cards they come with. Now that we talk about how to play the game, let's talk about the clans and their playstyle. You can unlock up to 5, 6 if you own the DLC, and each clan has 2 champions. For starters, you have the Hellhorn, your usual I'm gonna hit you very hard, get ready for it kind of style, with the imp set of special units that you can use and sacrifice as Missile, since they give their bonuses on summon and then take a hit for the bigger cost. Next up is the Awoken, which got my set's history and curiosity tainted, and also focus on supporting spells to keep your tanking units alive and then make the enemy disappear by applying thorns if you feel like a prick. Coming next is holy shit, is that fish from Wild Rift? That focuses mainly on having plenty of spells to destroy your targets, and units that have incantation has a keyword. Now onto my favorite, Umbra, with the mechanic of making a mukbang, which means that they have a special unit called the Morsel. There are a few versions of them, but they all work in the same way. They give some sort of benefit when eaten, and they are all automatically vored by the front unit after the battle phase is over. And lastly, my least favorite clan. I don't know what they do, cause I never fucking play them. Something with reusing units might melt in the wax or something. Shit's lame. Now, when at the beginning I said about crazy non-conventional builds, it's because with good think and effort, or some luck if you don't have them, you can make basically anything in this game work as an actual build, and also be extremely strong. For example, Rage. It's a buff that you can apply to units in different ways, like summoning imps that apply rage. Some units get rage when getting hit, or hitting enemies, or spells that give rage to specific units. What rage does is it raises the unit's attack by 2 per stack, and the unit loses a stack every turn. So if you wanna make good use of that anger, better have a stable supply of rage in hand. Oh wait, what does this say? Rage does not decay? I wonder what could we do with this. Oh look, this demon has the base modifier of multi-strike, but he is kinda weak. Alright, let's stop by the modifier shop and make him thick and bulky. And we will pump him full of gamer rage, because multi-strike means hitting twice, and giving him rage means 4 damage instead of 2. So now he is our core unit and not the champion. This can sometimes happen because some units can get insanely broken with some combinations, while the champion is generally really good. Now, how could we have a good source of baby rage for this unit? Oh, look, it's Enflame, a 2 energy cost spell that gives 4 rage and 5 armor. Sounds solid, but why not stop by the store and grab some energy reduction modifiers, and now Enflame costs 0. Alright, let's continue and... wait, what's that? An artifact that gives spells a 3rd slot to modify? Alright, sure. What could we do with this? Alright, we can apply Holdover, so when we use it, next turn is guaranteed to come back to the hand. And now we can actually... wait, what? An event that clones a card of my choosing with the upgrades included? I'm sure we can make some use of that. Let's make up some setup real quick. Anyway, the boss decided that he wanted to destroy my units with his 19,000 HP and a multi-strike 3 of 10 damage. But my thick boy with 200 armor and 310 attack multi-strike 2 said, I'd like to see you try. Going for this build, some of you might realize that there were some extra builds running in the background, because in this game, you can run multiple good stuff in one, without deviating too much from the main build. For example, X cards. X cards, as some of you might know, are cards which energy cost depends on how much energy you have while casting it. Usually with the formula of, for example, 2 times X rage. And there's 2 really good reasons these cards are really good in this game. An artifact that gives them a baseline of 3, so they are not only usable even at 0 energy, but they also have a good amount of its effect. And the fact that this game allows you to rack up some energy pretty easily, by either draining the cost of the main cards with modifiers, or generating a good amount of energy with artifacts or special cards, and even an artifact that allows you to save energy between turns, to the point that whoops, is this 25 energy? And a card in hand with X cost, giving my unit 50 rage and armor. Look, this boss is gonna destroy my units and end my run. Wait, she got hit by a spell weakness, taking double spell damage, and this 30 damage X card has a +3 base and 5 energy. Very curious. And that's not all. I also happen to grab a few Preserve Thorns, giving me 3 stings while consuming the card. And stings are 0 cost, 10 damage card that makes you draw an extra card next turn. But I also found some artifacts along the way that give stings 10 magic power, so it does 20 damage now. And also piercing, so any excess damage hits the unit behind it. And eventually Channel Heart, giving sting 20 extra magic power. So now it's a 45 damage free to use spell that gives me more draw, so I can have more sting in the hand. And some results are more telling than others. There's a lot more to do and explore. The difficulty of the Covenant will prove to be a challenge. I will make you not just understand the game, but be one with it. Fuse yourself with the card, and even breathe the That said, this is one of my favorite deck builders in general. The soundtrack is amazing and will get you into the fighting for hell experience, and the different playstyles of the clans and their combinations will keep the gameplay refreshing and make you try different stuff. To the point the only reason I stopped playing this game as much is because the sequel came out. Anyway, thank you for watching. If you have any feedback on the video, write it down below. And if you like the style of my review, subscribe to the channel. There will be more to come. Have a great one.